Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are back again with another video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, put on those notifications, like this video. Today will be the Godzilla vs. Kong review. Today's the day, guys. I just got done watching it. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen this movie yet, go watch the movie and then come back here on this channel to watch this video. So guys, I was really looking forward to this movie, like, a lot. Like, this was one of my most anticipated movies of this year because of the big hype that we got from King of the Monsters. That's like my favorite Godzilla film ever, by far. I would put that movie, then probably then probably Skull Island, then the first Godzilla movie, and I'll show you where I'm gonna rank this movie, later in the review. But literally, guys, this movie felt very underwhelming to me, and like when I was watching it, in a sense, it felt very underwhelming. It didn't feel like the same feeling I got when I saw King of the Monsters. I don't know if it was because, one, I wasn't in the theaters watching it on the big screen, or I just was, or it was the fact that maybe, or at home and I was just watching it on my screen, or it was just the fact that maybe the story was very underwhelming. I thought the story was very, in a sense, like, I've seen it done before. I've seen it done. So I felt like it was kind of like repetitive in a sense. But you know what? I mean, there was, like, from what we saw from the last movie, King of the Monsters, where we saw King Ghidorah's head, and we kind of thought, okay, they're going to go into Mecha Godzilla in the next movie, and that's probably where it was going to go. Before it got announced, we would probably see, Kong vs. Godzilla. So when, we got the first trailer for Kong vs. Godzilla, I was like, okay, this looks sick. Why is Godzilla doing all this destruction? What's going on? Because, as we know, Millie Bobby Brown's back as Madison, and her dad, which is named Mark. Mark is back as her dad. But his name is Kyle Chandler. He's back as, Mark, which is, Madison's dad. And shockingly enough, we don't see them a lot in this movie, especially the dad, which I felt like it was kind of weird going off of that one movie where, he ends up being such a big part of Monarch to, like, take over, like, looking after Godzilla and all the Titans. I found it very weird he wasn't in it as much. Same as Madison wasn't in it as much, and like as much as the other people were involved with Kong, which I thought was weird. It was like, it would make more sense to have them more involved than these newer characters, which I was just shocked that, it felt very weird on that standpoint. And, we start off the movie where, we see everything is happening pretty much with Kong, essentially. Like, he's in a dome on, I guess on Skull Island, he's in a dome. But before that happens, we see Godzilla tracking, I guess, Apex down, because they're working on, like, they're building Mecha Godzilla, and he knows that they're doing something, and there's a threat out there. That's why he's doing all this destruction, because he senses a threat. And pretty much when we go to see, when we go to see, of course, the bad guys get away, Apex, because they're looking for something to power up Mecha Godzilla to stand up against Kong and to stand up against Godzilla, but mainly against Godzilla. So we end up seeing the point where Apex goes, we end up going to the island, and we end up finding out that Kong is in a big dome on Skull Island, and he can't get out, and we end up seeing this little girl that was able to communicate with Kong. And I mean, that was a cool aspect and all, but like, I don't know, something like, those were cool moments, but like, it felt very, I didn't really care a lot, in a sense, about all that. In a sense, I felt like Godzilla wasn't in it as much as he should have been. I felt like it was so focused on Kong that I felt like for a movie that's called Godzilla vs. Kong, there's very little of Godzilla, in a sense. I kind of felt like that was annoying to me, because I came here to see him beat Godzilla. Beat Kong. That's why I kind of was, like, expecting to see them fight more and do stuff. But we end up seeing the sequence where, Apex is going to this guy that made the book about the Middle Earth, about the theory of the Middle Earth, he's saying, oh yeah, it's out there, we tried going, and and then Apex is like, oh, we have devices or ships that can get you there, and we need something there but they don't explain what they need that they're trying to find, but they're trying to get this guy to go down there because he wants to go down there and succeed to go down there so he can tell people I did it, essentially. So pretty much he like, without any oh, why do you guys want to go down there, anything like that, he's just like, okay, let's go do it. He convinces the one girl, which is like, I guess like this she's like a mom to this little girl, and essentially is trying to convince her to make Kong go to Antarctica, which is, I guess, is like the center of the Middle Earth. Like, it's an easy entrance point, and they need Kong to pretty much go in there so they can follow him to go find this powerful artifact, which essentially, as we all know, is the axe that, Kong uses, that, is like from the ancestors of, Kong and Godzilla fighting, all like their ancestors fought. There's history of them fighting and their rivalry. And apparently, I guess, like, in their fight years and years ago, of, like, his ancestors, of, Kong's ancestors and Godzilla's ancestors, I guess when the Kong's ancestors got one of the scale, like, one of the big spikes on the back that are like his power up, for his atomic breath. So we end up seeing that, and I guess, like, that's the most powerful artifact, I guess, and they needed, I guess, him to, because I guess when Godzilla uses his breath on Earth, it's connected in a sense, and it glows the thing, because that's what it was doing. When he was using his breath, it was glowing one of his scales, even though it wasn't one of his, but it was one of his ancestors. So I guess regardless if it goes off or not, it'll still glow when the being itself is using the atomic breath and charging it up. The thing will start glowing and charging up, essentially. So they pretty much need that to power Mechagodzilla. But of course, before they get to the Middle Earth, freaking, again, Godzilla senses that, Kong is on the move. He's not in his habitat anymore, and he's going into his territory and not staying where he needs to be. And going into this, I really wanted Godzilla to wreck Kong's shit. And essentially, that's exactly what happens in this movie. He gets wrecked in the boat sequence that we see in the trailer, which I'm happy about, because this man literally, you're trying to act all, oh, you're the King Kong, like, you're King Kong, you're the king. Bullshit, my guy. You got easily subdued on your island. You got easily subdued. You don't see Godzilla getting subdued like that. And you think you could come out here, like, and humans are using you literally to get something, and they're forcing you to do it, and you can come out here and think you can beat Godzilla. That ain't happening. I was like, this is some bullcrap. And I'm not gonna lie, there were some scenes I felt like they really powered down Godzilla in a sense. I was like, this is a little bit of bullshit, because in seriousness, he took on a 3-headed dragon, which was Ghidorah, and he's struggling a little bit with Kong. I thought that was a little bit of bullshit in a sense. I was like, that's bullcrap. That was the main event. And that one sequence where we see in the ship sequence, literally Kong was running like, jumping off the boat. That sequence made me funny, made me laugh when, he's on the boat and, Godzilla's underneath the water and just blows his atomic breath up, and freaking Kong just jumps off like a scared little baby. Kong ain't it. He ain't shit. He got his ass whooped in this. And I'm just so happy they did that, because he needed to be put in place. So after that first fight, of course, Godzilla won because it was on the water. That's his territory, and you're coming in thinking you can beat him, and that ain't it, Chief. So he's like, oh, if we turn off all of our devices, it'll look like, Godzilla won, and he'll just want to leave. And essentially he did leave, because all the boats were turned off. Kong was sitting still because he was pretty much knocked out and just wanted to relax. And here comes one of the cats. You gotta move, okay? So literally, guys, that was funny how, Godzilla left after him beating him in the first rounds. And then we end up seeing, he's like, oh, if we're not on the water, maybe if we carry him from the sky, they won't, Godzilla won't follow him, and he'll just want to leave him alone. And here I am thinking to myself, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he might not be you guys might not be traveling through the water, and he can't, sonar that, but in a sense, he always knows when there is a threat, and there's tampering. Think about when he knew King Ghidorah was loose. He knew right away that's what was happening, and Edward, no. Yeah, he knew that right away that's exactly what was happening. So I thought that was kind of stupid how we end up seeing the fact of how he just didn't know that they were going to fly him to go to this artifact. I mean, I felt like a little bit like Godzilla should have knew more that that's exactly what they were doing, because he senses the threat. which made sense why he would show up and try to stop Kong when they were on the ship. But, we get to, of course, that happens, and Godzilla turns around, ends up pretty much essentially just going through the waters, and we don't end up seeing him again until we're in Japan, and they're trying to start the machine back up of Mechagodzilla, and that's where we see, Godzilla go do that, and go there, and we see Kong in the middle of the earth, trying to find the artifact with Apex trying to follow them with the little girl, because the little girl is like signing to him, can understand him, and he can understand her, and he can sign back. So that's why they have a connection. And he pretty much, the guy that wrote the book is trying to convince the little girl to be like, oh, you need to help me here. You need to, because I have a lot on the line, because, it's a deal. Like, they're going to give me the ship so I can go down there, so I can get down there. And they want to get down there to go find something, but they can't do that unless you communicate with them and tell them that, oh, there's might be family members in there. You should go check it out. And essentially he does, ends up finding the axe. And of course, when Godzilla's in Japan, he can sense that there's a piece of him down there, and sense that they're down in the center of the earth, because their ancestors of all the Titans have been down in the center of the earth. So, of course, he knows there's tampering going on, there's stuff going on down there, and he has something that doesn't belong to Kong. So he ends up sending a beam down there. Of course, Kong comes up to, Godzilla sends a beam down to Kong. He comes up, and then they make a big fight happen. And in that fight, I mean, again, I really don't think, they make Kong, in a sense, OP in some sequences. But, I mean, in a sense, it makes sense, because I guess you're on land, and, it made sense like Godzilla beat him in the water territory of the scene, and then when he gets on land, he has more of a chance. But essentially speaking, they literally made Godzilla smaller so he could fight Kong in the first place. So of course they're going to power him down a bit, because that it's the movies, and they want to make it an even fight in a sense. So of course they're going to power him down in a sense. Of course they're going to some things might not make any sense when you think about that, about you put him in the air so Godzilla can't track him, but really that's not the case, as we've seen in the other movies and everything. So I don't know, this was just a very underwhelming movie to me, but I did think the fight sequences were really cool. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't put this over King of the Monsters, because I think King of the Monsters is a hell of a lot better than this movie. But I mean, at the end of the scene, we see them fight, of course, and they're going back and forth, and you think, Kong's got the beat on Godzilla, but that's not the case. Godzilla ends up beating him, and pretty much he ends up pretty much killing Kong in a sense. But then there's one thing to really restart his heart back up again, because the little girl can sense that his heartbeat is slowing down, and they use one of the ships of Apex, and it starts his heart back up while freaking Godzilla's getting his ass kicked by, Mechagodzilla, which I think is bullcrap, because this is just a metal tin can, and you literally have the most powerful creature that beat freaking, again, King Ghidorah, which was a big threat, and he ended up beating King Ghidorah. So how is he getting his ass kicked by a tin can? You think the tin can would have came first in the other movie, and then we would have got to freaking King Ghidorah or something. I just think that maybe this was out of order in a sense, because Mechagodzilla was should not have been that much of a problem in a sense. He shouldn't have been. I mean, I mean, if you guys loved this movie, great. But in a sense, I just don't think that makes any sense. How you build up a threat like King Ghidorah, and pretty much he ends up beating him, King Ghidorah, and then we end up getting to the point where he's getting his ass kicked by literally a monkey, and getting his ass kicked by a tin can. In some sense, but he ends up beating him in the first round, of course, on the water. Beating him the second round, they fight. But he had a little bit of a struggle. And then you have him getting his ass kicked by a tin can, and then Kong gets back up and helps fight, and Kong gives Mechagodzilla the final blow and ends up destroying Mechagodzilla with the axe. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is in a sense dumb. I wish Godzilla got the final act of the story. But I mean, I just felt so heavily focused on Kong, and I felt like that was kind of annoying, because again, it's called Godzilla vs. Kong, and I mean, it didn't make any sense to me, why you wouldn't have Godzilla in it that much, and you wouldn't have the main characters from the first movie in it as much, and you're having the new characters and so focused on Kong, And I'm just here thinking, okay, I don't really care about Kong's character. I mean, he's just a monkey, literally. I don't care. Like, I mean, most people might care. I mean, but again, that's just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, this movie felt so underwhelming compared to King of the Monsters. King of the Monsters felt so. There was a lot of things at stake. Things made more sense. Just it was just a better overall movie. I literally, if I had to put this anywhere on the scale, I would probably put this maybe above. I think I might put this below Skull Island on my list, because I'd say it's King of the Monsters. Then I would say it's Skull Island. Then I would probably say it's this. Then the regular Godzilla movie, the first one. I would probably do it like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch this movie again. Like I watched, I love King of the Monsters. I keep rewatching that movie. It's just a great movie. People didn't like it because they thought it was too focused on the humans. But guys, I mean, it's not just about monsters. Things need to make sense. Monsters can't just fight just because. That doesn't make sense. I mean, most people that that don't care about making sense in the story want to just watch monsters and people fight. No, there has to be a story that makes sense why they're fighting. So that's why it made that movie so good. But when you focus on this, it's kind of like it's not really balanced enough, and people aren't in it that should be in it more, and it's a dumb story that a book writer would really fall for these guys, letting them lend their ships so they can find something, but you're not going to question what they want. I was like, that's dumb. You're not going to ask them, Apex what they want, because they're giving you the ships to go down there, but what are they trying to do? And they were kind of making, Godzilla just a big threat, saying, oh, we need a Kong to defeat Godzilla, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, he just saved the world in the last movie, and you guys are really quick to say he's bad. When literally Madison, Millie Bobby Brown's character was like saying to Mark, there's more behind this. He's not just going to turn his back on us after he just risked his life, to save us from everything. Like, that doesn't make any sense. We need to look into this more. He just didn't just turn evil. And Mark was just like, oh, people turn bad every day, blah, 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 blah. I feel like that was crappy writing on his behalf, because that character made such a big jump in the last movie, not to just assume things of people, and not to just can make people villains. So I felt like that was dumb. He just said, oh, he's a villain now, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to look into why he's doing what he's doing. I thought that was dumb. That wasn't really Mark's character, and it just didn't make any sense. I thought it would be more Madison and Mark working together, trying to figure out what was going on, instead of them just putting out him to be the villain, and then Madison doing all the work to really trying to help Godzilla and say, there's more behind this. Because again, it's not like in the last movie we didn't see threats happen that Godzilla knew about and was confronting them. Because that's when we found out, the mom in the last movie, and everybody she was working with the people trying to make the Titans destroy the Earth, to restart the Earth, to save the Earth, in a sense. And he knew something was up, and knew in a sense that, he found that it wasn't Godzilla's fault, and he was actually trying to help this situation so Titans wouldn't destroy the Earth. So I feel like that was kind of dumb, that he just kind of forgot everything and just assumed that Godzilla was bad and wasn't trying to listen to Madison. So I felt like the story really fell flat and didn't really follow through on the execution, because I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it. I mean, yeah, the fight sequences were cool, but I don't just want fight sequences. I want stories that actually make sense. And this was just kind of dumb to me. I really didn't like the new character of Madison's friend. I was like, okay, he's just, I don't know why he's really there. We didn't really need that kid there. And I mean, the other guy was funny though, but in a sense, I don't know. I mean, this story just wasn't very good overall. I don't know. I don't know where to put this. If I put this over Skull Island, because I really like Skull Island, I'd probably put this below this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be another movie. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if there will be another movie. But as of right now, I'm not quite sure if this might be it. I'm kind of hoping this is kind of it, because I'm not really feeling this movie. I didn't really feel it that much. So I don't know. I can't wait to hear what you guys think on this movie and everything. But I hope you guys can understand where I'm trying to come from. Of Mark's character just didn't make sense from coming from the last movie to this movie, and putting and just thinking right away that Godzilla was bad. That made no sense. And I just didn't like that. I didn't like how that was dumb. I didn't like how we didn't get Mark and Madison in it enough. We got less of Mark and a little bit more Madison, but it was more about the other characters, more about Kong's side of everything. And Godzilla was barely in the film except the two fights and maybe swimming around. that's essentially it. That's not much. We got more of Kong than I'd say we got of Godzilla. That's just, I'm just saying. But literally, I can't wait to hear what you guys say down in the comments below. You know, I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this film. If you liked it or not, if you didn't like it, what you think they need to improve, if you think they failed the execution, or you think if they actually, like, executed the movie well. I'm just curious what you guys think down in the comments below. But again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel, put in those notifications, like this video. And also, I mean, you know, check out the channel. I have a lot to offer on this channel. Also, I would just love to have you guys a part of this community/family about spreading, you know, I started this channel to spread love, positivity, and motivation about, you know, everybody following their dreams, because you only live one life. And literally, life is short, and literally, you are put here on earth for a reason. You are a special person, and you are meant here to follow your dreams and achieve your dreams. Don't let anybody don't sell yourself short. Don't let anybody try to put you in a box that you can't break out of. Just go strive for greatness. You know, it took me a while to really understand that and really let people not stand in my way, and people that, you know, I thought were my friends that didn't, you know, that didn't care about, you know, my motivations and my dreams, and they just didn't, like, understand me, and just really didn't push me to strive for my dreams, and they just didn't believe in me. But now I'm surrounded by people that do believe in me, that do make me want to keep striving for my dreams and keep achieving my dreams. And I'm doing that literally with YouTube right now. And, you know, it's a blast, and I love doing what I'm doing. And this opens a big world for me of opportunities with, you know, that's funny. That was my my sister's cat, Win. But it opens a door for me with acting and modeling I want to get into. So it all started with YouTube, and I'm just happy with how big this channel is growing. I started it at the end of last year, and this channel has done wonders. It's been growing so much, this family. Literally, we are at 250 subscribers. I really want to get to 300, guys, so please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my videos. I post a lot, guys. So literally, I am so dedicated to this channel and dedicated to giving you guys content, and just and literally, and I don't want you guys to have a second of, like, you know, not having anything to watch. So I'm just dropping these videos for you guys so you guys have something to watch and some entertainment. And, you know, so we can just talk and have a great time. But again, I'm going to end this video here. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.